Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle and I like to live life to the fullest and help you guys do the same. I've retired nearly 2 years ago. It was actually in August. It will be 2 years, which is amazing. I didn't think I was going to retire at first. I basically lost my job because my mum was ill and I moved to England for 6 months to take care of her. I live in the USA actually. I didn't tell you that. And I retired at 46. I didn't actually plan to retire at 46. I just happened to get fired. So I figured, what the heck? I can retire. Why not? I can afford to. And, you know, I could work later down the road. But right now I'm not needing to and I don't want to. And I figured I would teach you some things that I've done to help me get to where I am now, where I can just walk at places like this. Let me show you where I am. Hold on. So I'm at the parking lot at this beautiful place that's not very far from me, actually. Look at it. It's amazing. I'm basically going to show you pretty much every video some things that I do that aren't very expensive at all and that you can like live frugally and retire much quicker than you think on less money than you think you need. Because my old company, a lot of people, they would, well, the companies, the owners of the companies, they would have so much money, like millions, more than millions. They have multiple millions, and they would be like, oh, I don't have enough money to retire. Well, I think the only reason they didn't have enough to retire is probably because they were living in such an extraordinary big house, or their expenses were way high and stuff. But if you can keep your expenses down, you can definitely retire on a lot less. And in the end, what do you actually really need to like enjoy your life? Like, there's not a lot of things you really need. And I think buying the new gadget, the new this and new that, it's not necessary. And also like clothing, when you don't work, you don't have to like dress up or be all posh or anything. Like, I wear hiking clothes most of the time. And right now, look at me, I'm just wearing this. It's nothing exciting. My hair's nothing glamorous. I don't have any makeup on. But you know, I'm enjoying my life. I get to enjoy nature. I get to go watch bald eagles every day if I wanted, because they're right there all the time, fly over my head and everything. And there's Rex, and I get to walk him, and he's happier because I'm happier too because I'm out in nature. And I get to see amazing things and meet amazing people every day. So life is good. So just think about it. You don't really need that much money to retire. You think you do because all the financial gurus and everything, and I'm not a financial advisor obviously, but all the financial gurus, they always tell you, you need $1 million, you need $1 million. But do you? It depends on how you live. You know, it depends on your expenses. So keep them low and you will be good. So in the next few videos, I'm going to teach you, or at least show you what I did to be able to get where I'm at now, where I've wanted to leave. I wanted to leave my job for ages before they fired me, so it was quite good that they did fire me. Like, I had been thinking about it for ages, right? So I've been like, okay, I need to do something else. I'm kind of even though I really like my job, I did really like it. It wasn't horrible. I was just bored, you know, like it's just the same thing every day. There must be something better than this, but I didn't really hate it. So like, I've hated some jobs in the past where I've just not really enjoyed them and I've really dreaded going in, but I didn't dread going into this one because I ended up working remote. They let me work remote because I moved. They were like, you can work remote. And so I ended up working remote, and that was great. But I still just felt like there was something more there for me to do than that. And I didn't really know what it was. And I just was like, grass isn't always greener, so I might as well just keep the job. You know, it pays decent. Rex wants to get that other dog. We've already been on a walk, so don't feel sorry for this little doggy of mine. But anyway, so yes, I basically, what happened is I decided to take some time off. Actually, I quit my job is what happened. First of all, like this was 2 years ago. I decided to give my notice. I said, hey, because my friend is sick, right? He had cancer and he was given like 6 months to live at the time. And it was bugging me that I didn't have any vacation time because would get 10 days vacation. I'd already used it. And it was like it was August. No, it was when I did it was in July, right? July, and I thought, okay, I need to go on some trips with my friend because he's been told he's got 6 months to live. And I'm like, life is short. Heck, I'm just going to quit because I felt like it was time, right? It was time to quit. I don't know why, just for something inside me was telling me that. So I basically told them, hey, I'd like to leave. I'm going to give my notice. There's nothing wrong with this job. I like it. It's fine. You know, my friend's ill and I want to spend some time with him. And they were like, oh, you can have 3 months off unpaid and then you can just come back afterwards. And I thought, well, I guess so, but I didn't really want to. But I said yes because, you know, I felt like that was so nice of them to do that. Like, how nice is that? But inside, I really just was like, oh no, I got to go back in 3 months. I didn't really want to. My mind was made up once I had decided to quit, like it was made up. But anyway, a week into my trip, I went to Roatan with my friend, his dream trip, like he wanted to do for ages, and it was so fun. And 2 of my other friends went, and that was so fun. I loved it. But then when I was at my trip, oh my gosh, I found out that my mum was in hospital and she was really ill. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to cancel all these other plans that I had planned with my friend after this. I'm going to have to cancel them. I'm going to have to go to England. I've got to go and see my mum. So what happened is my friend who I was with on that Roatan trip, we just decided to go to England together because he'd never been. So why not? Heck, might as well just go together and he can stay at my mum's. I can go and meet, you know, see her in the hospital and take care of her when she's home, but we can still do some things together. And he was willing to do that. So we went to England and we spent 3.5 weeks there actually at the time. And then my mum ended up being good. She came home and everything. She was back to being fine. It was great. So then I flew back to USA with my friend, and then I wasn't even home yet. I'd travelled all day, like 24-hour travelling. Oh my gosh, so long. And I stayed at my friend's that night because he lives different, like 3 hours away from me, and we flew into his airport in his hometown. So I ended up driving, and on my way back to driving home, I got the call that my mum had been given 2 months to live. So I was like, heck, oh my gosh, I need to leave. So I basically stayed home for 1 week and left and went right back to England. And I ended up being there for 6 months, actually. I didn't know that. Poor little Rex. I left him here with my friend, which is fine because he was perfectly fine. But at the time I felt so bad. But I had to be with my mum, obviously, because she needed me. And so I ended up spending 6 months in England. And I was supposed to go back to work within that 3 months. So I had left in the August, right? So I'd have August, September, October off. And then October came and they called me and they said, well, you cannot work remote from England for tax reasons. They fired me, which was perfectly fine. At the time, I was like, yeah, good, because I really just don't feel like working the hours, because it would have been, I had to work American hours in England, which I would have had to work from 5 p.m. until 2 a.m. in the morning, which is kind of hard, honestly. Like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to spend the time with my mum because, you know, for the first 3 months, my mum was fine. But once she got past, like, the time they told her she would die, that she just kind of gave up living, which is really horrible, actually, to see that. Let's not talk about that. But anyway, so my mum passed away. I came back and it was in January, and I thought, oh, my friend was still fine. They had given him 6 months to live, but he's still fine, right? So I thought, heck, I'm just going to go and do some cool trips with him because I've got the time. I'm available. I don't have a job, which is good, and I can afford to not work. Why don't I just do that? So I guess it kind of fell in my lap. I didn't actually plan to retire right already. I just have decided that I can. I didn't think that I would, but I am. And my friends are like, you're too young to retire, you're too young. Well, that'll be for another video. I guess I'll make something about that one day. But I don't know. I feel like life is short. And I've had such an amazing trips with my friend, and he's actually started to get some pain now from his cancer, so I doubt he has that long left. So I'm probably going to go and see him this week, and it might be the last time I see him. I don't know. But how lucky... How lucky was I that I was able to spend time with him? Like, if I was working, heck, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I've been a really lucky person, to be honest, that I've been able to just do this and you know, I've had the money. And the reason I've been able to do it is because in the past I've had 3 jobs at one time, and I've saved and saved and saved. I've paid off my mortgage. I've paid off multiple mortgages because I leveled up. I got a 1-bedroom, and then I paid that off, and then I got a 2-bedroom, and I paid that one off, and then I got a 3-bedroom and paid that one off. But it was just a bunch of work, and I worked loads. I had 3 jobs, and the only reason I did that is because I had only me to fall back on, because all my family were in England. They don't have any money, and when I got divorced, I just had to hustle, I guess. But now I feel like, you know, because I read all these books. I read Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey's The Baby Steps, and you know, I used to live paycheck to paycheck, and I tried my hardest to not do that. And I wanted to be able to retire young, retire rich. You know, the FIRE community. I did all those things, and I am here to tell you that you can do it if you really try hard. And I will definitely have more videos out of how I've done it. And I don't know what questions you have or anything, and I really don't normally share these type of things because I'm embarrassed, I guess. And plus I cry like a right baby about my family, you know, people dying and stuff. It's horrible. But life is short, and heck, why are we wasting it working for somebody else? They're just going to fire you in the end anyway, even though you're a good employee. You know, because in the end, they need, like, I don't know, they replace you. You're replaceable. You're not that, like, my company was good. They did good for me. But yeah, they fired me in the end. But that was like, I had to be in England. Well, I don't know. I could have worked remote from, I'm glad they did. But anyway, I'm just saying, life is short. Work isn't everything. And if you have a passion for something and you think that you can do something else, then I say listen to your intuition, because I do think that you should do that, because things happen for a reason. I think we're here to learn lessons in our lifetime. And I think we should follow our intuition, because I think we'd be happier, to be honest. Because I'm much happier now that I'm not working in that job. I liked my job. You know, it was perfectly fine. I liked it. It was quite good, but I didn't love it. I do love my life now. I get to do whatever I want. Right now, this year, I've got so many trips planned, and I'm enjoying them. And I can live on such a low amount of money. You can do it. There's different ways to do it. And you do have to give up certain things. Like, you can't have all these luxury items, and I can't have, oh, the new gadgets, the new this, new that, all these different expensive trips. But I can do some expensive ones. So anyway, I'm just here to motivate you, hopefully, in living the life of your dreams and just following your passion. But obviously you have to do it in a smart way. You can't just go, oh, I have no money and I can't do anything, and now I have even less because I've given up my job. You have to be a little bit strategic about it. And my next video, I'm going to show you how I was able to pay off my mortgage, like what I did to do it. And I'm just a nobody. I had nothing. I live in paycheck to paycheck. I can't even say that. I was living paycheck to paycheck for years, and it was just tough. And I ended up just doing different things to help me, like, live a better life. And I'm able to do that, and I just kind of want to share it with people, because a lot of people are like, how are you doing that? Well, I didn't just fall in my lap. You don't see the background and what it took to get there. And I do think people should share that more, because, you know, it's not overnight success. I couldn't just do it. I had no money for ages, and it was stressful, and I worked 3 jobs to get there, and I rented a room, and there was all these things that I did, and I just didn't spend loads of money. The stuff that I would do were like free. You know, I would go hiking, I would go concerts in the park that were free in the summer, I would go to picnics, just stuff, and I would never like buy lunch. I would take my own sandwiches. It's just lots of different things that you can do. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, because I'm a bit rambling and I don't want to do that, because your time is valuable. So I'll see you in the next video, where I show you how I paid off my mortgage early.